Rat Pokemon are kind of poop. This rat is poop. That rat is poop. This rat. I wish I could forget this one. But you know what rat-ish Pokemon is kind of dope? Furret. And technically Sentret. Now you've already seen the title and thumbnail of this video and you might be thinking to yourself, why the hell would you do this? Or, where the hell have you been for the last couple months? And to answer both of those questions, yes. Looking at all the Pokemon games, I wanted to pick one that would give me a decent challenge. Seeing the level up moveset of both Furret and Sentret, Gen 2 is definitely the worst by far, and for obvious reasons. Generally, the further back you go, the worse the Pokemon moveset is gonna be, and Furret, oh boy, this moveset. And I don't even want to get started on his stats, so let's just boot up Pokemon Silver. New game, welcome to the world of Furret, character name Jaquese, and then send me on my way. Say goodbye to Mom, and then get our placeholder Pokemon. I wasn't sure which Pokemon I wanted to give false hope to the most, but then I remembered Chikorita is probably like one of the worst starters ever made. Named him Weed because at the time I was, baked. Headed to Mr. Pokemon's house, got the egg, ran into the rival, who I beat with no problems whatsoever. Gave a police report.
He was 5'2", maybe had daddy issues.
Returned to the professor who I gave the egg and was like, what the fuck? And then received Pokeballs. Now set free into the world to do what God intended, I ran into the grass to find our champion. Rummaging through the Pidgey, I eventually find a level 2 Sentret, which I then killed. Runs over. Go home. Found another level 2 Sentret, and then crowned our new champion. The bringer of badges and a new champion seat, Ringo. Leveling up Ringo to level 5, I put Weed in the PC where he will most likely sit until we need cut. Continued leveling and then made my way to Violet City where I challenged the monks to Sprout Tower. Ringo put on his varsity jacket and started giving swirlies out to any nerds that got in his way. Received Flash, yeeted the tower, and then strutted over to the first gym where Ringo continued to give everyone the shaft. With the first badge obtained, we then head south to Union Cave, where we went in as boys, but then came out men. While having an uphill battle fighting against all the rock-type trainers in the cave, our boy Ringo had finally done it. He achieved a form only spoken of in legend, and I couldn't be prouder. After clapping the cheeks of the rest of the trainers in the cave, we come up to Team Rocket, our second gym badge, and most importantly, Slowpokes. We run to Kurt, he breaks his spine Slowpoke well, we take out Team Rocket, and we save the Slowpoke. Afterwards, we take on the second gym challenge, where I battled this Spinnerack and I was way too high to figure out what the hell was wrong with it. Showtime, gym leader number 2, Bugsy. He sends out his 2 meat shields, that Ringo takes care of with no problems whatsoever. He then sends out his big dick and is dead. After obtaining the second gym badge, we then start to head to the forest, where our rival is all like, "The fuck you say to me, you little shit!" And then he sends out Ghastly, which normally would be quite the problem, but this is Gen 2, so Mudslap. Defeated the rival, made my way into the forest, and then forgot how to do the fucking Farfetch puzzle. God damn it. Received Cut, went back and grabbed Weed out of the PC, cut down the tree, fight a trainer where I completely forgot what this menu even was. I forgot I had Weed in the party with me and I just was not even used to it at this point, and I was way too high. And then I headed to Goldenrod City. Went to the radio tower, grabbed the radio card, but you don't need it because this isn't Soul Silver, so. Then I headed over to Whitney's gym, where I then bludgeoned a bunch of cute little normal type Pokemon that just did not stand a chance. Fought Whitney and beat her notoriously awful Miltank, surprisingly easy. Afterwards, I started heading north, where I forgot the watering can completely. Fuck. Can received, peed on the tree, and then he's like, what the fuck? And then I proceeded to use Mudslap on repeat. Then we got cocky. We went over to the 4th gym where we dipped our toe into the ghost-type pool and was like, not so bad. And then we slowly drowned in 25% of our health missing every turn. Not even the best drugs I could buy could have saved us. Round 2, did some training, and we're ready to fight. Damn it. Round 3, I've slaughtered everyone on the next route, and I'm level 32. Let's fucking... okay. Round 4! That is it. I'm way over leveled, and my blood pressure is way too high for a 24-year-old. Eat my ass, Morty. Now then. Time to find Surf. Alright, Kimono Girls. Super easy fights. Flareon, nothing. Vaporeon, destroyed. Edgeon, dulled. Nothing here was gonna stop Furret. Before we start surfing over there, might as well do the lighthouse stuff so we can go get the secret potion for the sick Pokemon at the top. And speaking of the lighthouse, my god, Ringo broke the nose of everything on the way up. He headbutted everything. This rat feels no pain. Until we have to hop back down this rickety piece of shit. Seriously, these impact sounds sound awful. Alright, time to surf. Because I'm definitely not forgetting anything. Weirdly, Weed can't learn surf. But Ringo for some reason can, which is strange. A little odd, but what the fuck is that? Furret morphing into a Lapras is not real, it can't hurt me. Also, how the hell am I fighting these trainers right now? I'm a little confused. I'm riding my Furret while also fighting with it. I mean, he's basically bulletproof, so I should be fine. After burning through so many repels because fuck that tentacle shit. Finally here in Cinnawood City, where I forgot the HM for strength, so I can't fight Chuck. I did go into the gym and did a little bit of a test run on these fighting type trainers, and fucking breeze. So, now what do we do? Get the secret potion, surf back, climb back up the lighthouse, give Ampy the potion, and Paloo we can too. Now that we've already fucked all this up, let's just take on the 6th gym leader, because you can. And to be honest, it'll probably be easier than the 5th gym leader. Which isn't true. They were both easy. All you have to do is just blind the Steelix with Mud Slap and then drown the damn thing. And then you have Chuck's Primate, who just watched me defeat a previous trainer who also had a Primate, and I ripped it apart.
Hey, Chuck, I don't know about this shit.
Surprisingly, the Poliwrath actually managed to eat a hit, but 2 hits? Nah, none of that. 5th and 6th badge obtained. Received Fly. Literally not helpful. One more long stretch of surfing. And finally back on track. Blink past Mount Mortar and onto Mahogany Town. Head north to put down the sickly looking Gyarados, and then meet Lance, who basically just has you take down Team Rocket for him, even though this man is the Pokemon League champion. He does Hyper Beam a guy, which I will say is kinda dope. Would love to see that shit in Sword and Shield. Or anything good, really. While going through the Team Rocket base, Ringo goes unchained and basically does any scene from the Madness Combat series. After an absolute slaughter, rival interactions that I miss, and dealing with this chump, we are then tasked with killing these Electrode. I mean, we could just set them free, but I guess XP is XP. Speaking of XP, at this moment, Ringo is technically higher level than Lance's Dragonite. I know Lance always seems so calm, cool, and collected, but I can tell he's starting to sway over the fact that he could actually lose to a Furret. Now that I've slain the only shiny that some people have ever caught, and then no rush in the Team Rocket base, it's time to move on to the Ice Path, because we both blinked at the same time and I already beat the 7th gym leader. While trying not to piss my own ass in frustration over this ice puzzle, I eventually make my way through only to realize that I forgot the Team Rocket stuff in Goldenrod City, fucking up my Furret playthrough even further. Alright. Walk all the way back to Goldenrod City, run up into the radio tower, slaughter, fight this guy with 5 coughings and a wheezing. The fuck is wrong with you? Run down into the underground area again, slaughter, have another rival battle that would be interesting if I wasn't already level 50. I should just rename Ringo to Slaughter at this point. Finally find the director, who then tells us to go back into the radio tower. The fuck? Even more slaughter? Fight this guy who has a dope Houndoom, but unfortunately, Ringo packed his water wings, and doesn't give 2 flying fucks what this Houndoom's moveset is. And now finally, we are back on track. Except now I have to walk all the way back over to the 8th gym. After getting frustrated over the ice puzzle yet again,
End my suffering, please.
we're here in Blackthorn City again. Going into this gym fight, I knew I had to think of a good strategy to take down all these tough and imposing Dragon-type Pokemon. I only had this adorable Furret, who's already single-handedly taken out the entirety of this gym. He's level 54 already, and Claire has 3 not fully evolved Pokemon, and they got 1 shot. After she's defeated, Claire pulls a Whitney and won't let you have the gym badge. Evidently, I'm not a worthy enough trainer even though I made it all the way here using only a Furret. Now this next part would be a breeze, but I don't have a Pokemon that knows Whirlpool, or could even learn it. And the closest thing here would be a Magikarp that I'd have to evolve into a Gyarados, which would take a really long time, which is what I had to do. I also caught the Zubat and Golbat so that I could use Fly, but turns out they don't learn Fly. Whirlpool, Dragonfang, 8th badge, go fuck yourself, Claire. After that tomfuckery, you get to leave the cave where Elm calls you and basically says, good job! You want a Master Ball? To which I reply, yes! And then I caught a Hoot Hoot with it. Cause it can learn Fly! Also named him Fly 3, in honor of Fly 1 and 2. Now that we have the ability to fly and then climb up waterfalls, on to Kanto. Up a waterfall, down a waterfall, skip a couple trainer fights, and arrive at the rest house, where I finally decided to get rid of Quick Attack for Shadow Ball. Which, I probably should have done like 4 gyms ago, but we're here. Fuck it. Go through the completely empty Victory Road cave, and then on to the Elite Alright. Rival battle. He says, and I quote, "You're so much weaker than I am," yet his entire team is already dead. You can't be saying that shit when you're sending out a level 34 Sneasel, when I am literally out here with a level 58 Furret, whose bloodlust cannot be quenched. It is funny that I accidentally gave him the starter that I could actually manage to get a super effective move against. I mean, it wouldn't have really mattered either way, just wanted to point it out. Alright Ringo, we've trained long and hard to get here. This is where we claim the champion seat for ourselves. Ringo, the muscle. And me. I would say brains, but I've literally just been yelling, "Use strength!" for 80% of this playthrough. All healed up. Drugs bought. And one pissed off Furret ready to take out anything that gets in its way. We head into our first match. Will, the psychic type trainer. I would add more here, but Shadow Ball literally one-shot everything. Slowbro, please. I'm begging you. Don't make this any harder than it needs to be. You already didn't make the dex cut. I really don't want to have to do this. Also, the animation for Shadow Ball looks like I should be yelling, "Where is your god now?" as I destroy these poor psychic types. Up next, Koga, who would normally pose a decent challenge. I could honestly sum up this entire fight with a clickbait title. Who would win? 6 poison and or bug types? Or 1 rock-throwing Furret? The answer might surprise you. After that, Bruno. This fight actually gave me some anxiety. This was the first fight in a while where I was like, if I do not one-shot this thing, I die. Luckily, one-shot everything. Except the Machamp, who managed to miss a cross-chop that may or may not have enough power to kill. But we'll never know, he missed. We win, GG, on to the next member. The last of the Elite Four, and the user of Dark-type Pokemon, Karen. I would roast her ass about having a basic white girl name after having that dope introduction. But between Sand Attack, Curse, and a mean flamethrower, she managed to slay the beast known as Ringo. Round 2! Where is your god now, Will? Happy birthday, Koga, have a rock. Bruno landed a cross chop, oh fuck! Okay, never mind, we're good. Karen, get fucked, ya basic. And now, finally, the ending that we were destined for. Me and Furret versus Lance and his big dumb dragons. Kinda. He opens up with Gyarados, so you can guess what move I'm about to open up with. Rocks. Second Pokemon, Dragonite. Again. Rocks. He then retaliates with Thunder Wave and Hyper Beam, which would be scary, but Ringo continues not to give a fuck. Third Poke. Another inappropriately leveled Dragonite. More rocks. Changing things up with an Aerodactyl after that, so strap on your water wings for it. Gonna re-dead this fossil. Up next, Charizard. Again, water wings. Lance having no choice, he then has to send out his level 50 Dragonite, who dishes out a nasty amount of damage with Outrage. But let me remind you, I have a rock-throwing Furret who has now single-handedly beaten Pokemon Silver. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it feels good. I believed in Ringo the second I killed that first Sentrant and then found him afterwards. He broke out of his first Pokeball that I threw at him. I knew he was the real deal. After getting registered into the Hall of Fame with my team, we roll credits. And then we get the end screen that has little dancing Sentrants on it. It's fitting for the perfect ending to this run. Which is what I would say if Gen 2 wasn't so goddamn good. This game has 2 regions, motherfucking Kanto time. Walked all the way up to the Elite Four only to realize that Professor Elm mentioned going to Olivine City. This is already a good start. Get on the boat, play hide and seek, get off the boat, and then boom. Actual Kanto. First up, Lieutenant Surge, who finally gave up the whole trash can button setup because he probably got locked out of his own room, but doesn't want to tell anybody. Also, taught Furret Dig, which I then dug 5 graves for all of his Pokemon. This section of the script is going to speed up because Kanto in Gen 2 is kind of a breeze. Next, Sabrina. Shadow Ball. Literally the hardest part of this gym was putting down a Slowpoke and Slowbro. And that was just a basic trainer in the gym. After that ass kicking, we find ourselves in Cerulean City, looking for Misty, figuring out the power plant shenanigans, and getting so lost that we need a guide. Instead of you watching me do this awful process, here's a fun fact. Furret is 5'11" in the Pokedex. I'm only 5'7" on a good day. Let that sink in. Also, we beat Misty. Nice. Heading to the actual 4th gym by Kanto standards, we meet Erica, who I already beat. Trust me, nothing worth mentioning. To the bike path! I never got the bike. To the bike path! It really just looks like my character's running with his dick out. Do you see it? You probably do now. And you can't unsee it, just like me. Fuchsia City! Gym leader Jaina, fuck. Koga's daughter. And none of this means anything, because she has lower level Pokemon than Koga does and we fight her after him. Kinda odd, but whatever. Next gym! After a long walk and figuring out shit via the internet, we end up in Lavender Town. I never noticed the music change here. Neat. Kanto radio card obtained, so get the fuck out of the way, Tubby! After traveling another half of Kanto, time to fight Brock. Water, wings. Badge, please, and thank you. After going through the tiny Viridian Forest and the city itself, passing through Pallet Town as well, and surfing straight down, we meet the new 8th gym leader, Blue. Or Green. Or Gary, depending on your Pokekink. He just straight up yeets off of Cinnabar Island. Cool. Continued surfing just off the side of Cinnabar Island, we meet a homeless man in the cave who just gives us a badge. Weird. It's like he heard about water wings. Oh well, back up north to fight the final gym challenge. Surprisingly not as easy as I thought it would be, but I suppose he didn't just stick to one typing. Which, high-key, they should try this out more often. But regardless, gym badge obtained. We head back to Professor Oak, who says blah blah Mount Silver, actual ending, blah blah, you should really catch more Pokemon. Look for tall grassy areas, blah blah. Thanks a ton. Mount Silver. The final ending. We've come so far. We started out this journey as a level 2 Sentret. Just look at us now, level 80 Furret. I remember our first tackle. Ringo gave it his all, and now he's literally throwing fucking boulders at things. I'm so proud of him. Just one more battle and we'll officially beat Pokemon Silver. Trainer Red. The absolute best fight in all the Pokemon games. And good music too. The dude starts out with a level 81 Pikachu. We have Dig, so that it doesn't really matter too much. What else you got? Espeon! Nah. Shadow Ball. That actually one-shot. What the fuck? Snorlax! The battle of whose normal type has a bigger peen. And half a Furret is off the screen for a reason. Easy enough win. Venusaur? Sunny Day? None of that shit. Next, oh. That makes more sense. Well, fuck. Time to potion install this flamethrower. And Water Wings. Just one more Pokemon. Blastoise. If this thing has Hydro Pump, I might actually lose. Luckily, he has Surf, and Furret brought his Water Wings. And hearing Red's classic dialogue of, we've finally done it. Credits roll again, same fitting Sentret the end screen. It can be done. Just believe in the water-winged, rock-throwing Furret enough and you can do anything. Except make the dex cut.